Hello, Fred here. Welcome back to my railway. Today I'm going to share a running session featuring the limited edition Cheltenham Model Centre Western Class 52 diesel produced by Dapol in 2019. My model is number D1039, Western King, in maroon livery with small yellow panel at front and rear. I have fitted my model with a West Hill Wagon Works magnetic coupling in one NEM socket and a 21-pin Dapol Imperium decoder. It is well known that the Western region of British Railways used a high level of regional autonomy in the late 1950s when deciding on their diesel traction policy. Unlike other regions, the Western region opted for hydraulic transmission instead of diesel-electric used elsewhere. The main advantage of hydraulic was considerable less weight than a diesel-electric, hence better power-to-weight ratio. The Class 52, also known as Western Class, owing to every locomotive being assigned a name commencing Western, were the last and most powerful diesel hydraulics built, the first locomotive being produced by Swindon Works in December 1961. 74 locomotives were built at both Swindon and Crewe BR Works. Each locomotive had two engines and two transmissions, as at the time the horsepower required was greater than could be handled by a single hydraulic transmission. The locomotives had a fairly short working life, the last being withdrawn in 1977. 7 locomotives have been preserved. The main reason for their withdrawal was the decision to standardise on diesel-electric types, although there were other reasons, including a design mismatch between the engines and transmissions and the inability to fit electric train heating. The Class 52 locomotives never carried tops numbers. Towards the end of their lives they were all in BR blue livery with full yellow ends. Other liveries carried by the class included BR green and desert sand. Western King was built at Crewe in 1962, was one of the earliest withdrawn in July 1973 and scrapped in September 1974. Between March and October 1964, an ultimately unsuccessful experimental rotary-style windscreen wiper was fitted. My model is of the locomotive in that period. Later, it was one of the few Class 52 locomotives to have full yellow ends applied while still in maroon livery. In my opinion, this is a fine Dapol model with working independently controlled lights at each end. DCC fitting is reasonably easy, but be careful not to break the wires for the cab lights when removing the body. I have experienced no issues with this locomotive to date. I hope you enjoy this running session, in which you will also see some of my other locomotives. let's demonstrate how the Locomotive handles a rake of BR Mark I coaches from the period, a typical train for a Western class. On the other track, I will run a Bachmann Class 43 wheelship diesel with coal wagons. I hope you have enjoyed this running session on Fred's Railway. I thoroughly recommend this Western class diesel model for layouts based in the 1960s. Other Western class models can be obtained in liveries to 1977. See you next time. Cheers everyone. The original track work on the Uffington line and the electrics were provided by the Little Layout Company, who I recommend to anyone considering a new layout but who may need technical and practical help.